All right, we are back with another Pick'em video. Going to be talking my favorite plays for Thursday Night Football tonight. We got the Giants and the Cowboys, so it should be a fun game. You know, Dak plays pretty well on Thursday nights, and he also plays pretty well against the Cowboys. So kind of hinting that we're going to be going after that kind of duo on the Cowboys side of things. I'm not loving the stacking opportunity on the Giants side of the field, but we're going to break it all down, give you guys some slips and some picks on PrizePicks. And then I do have a full Betr slip. So if you're not on Betr, if you're interested in Betr or never heard of Betr, at the end of the video, we're going to break down one of the slips over there. The value on Betr has been insane all year, and I've kind of been preaching that. It's been one of my favorite apps to play on. But I know people love PrizePicks. I play it every single day. That's what gets the clicks. So we're going to keep doing, PrizePicks material and kind of sneaking in some other plays where the value is there. We're going to break down really quickly our picks from yesterday. We ended up going 4-2, so I'll show that on the screen, and then we'll get into some plays. Hopefully going to try to keep this video under 10 minutes, which I never do, but that's kind of the goal for today. So if you're new around here, definitely go ahead and subscribe, leave the video a like, comment something down below. We got a fun one, hopefully a high-scoring game. I think the total is at like 46.5. But yeah, I could see Dak going off, and that's what we're going to talk about to start things off. But let's go into our desktop screen here. This was the play, the 5-man that I put in, but we added Alyssa Thomas over her assists, and she crushed that line. We'll show that in a second. But Jack Flaherty, I guess that's not a win. I really did call that he was probably going to get 5, and he did end up getting 5 exactly. Marina Mabry had a turnover very early in the game. Then she got her second one in the fourth quarter, I think like 6 minutes left. Davis Martin looked good. He was scary kind of throughout the first 3 innings, but I think he didn't even make it to the 4th inning, I'm pretty sure, so he stayed under. And then our Nerfies and our Yerfies did not come through for us. And then I want to show you Alyssa Thomas continues to kill it, especially in the playoffs. And yeah, 13 assists yesterday threw these guys into a little 2-man. For a nice little dub there. But let's go into the PrizePicks screen, actually get some plays on the board. And the Dak Prescott thing, the line that I'm going to go to here is not passing yards. It looks like a famous one or a very popular one, 88,000 people on it. I'm actually going to go to the combo here. You can see his rushing yards is at 9.5 on PrizePicks, but the difference between the passing and the passing plus rushing is only 6 yards. So I'm liking that, a little bit better market value as well. We're going to break that down. But I'm really liking Dak here, 269.5. I looked at his stats from Thursday Night Football games. He's won the last 5 games he's played on Thursday, and he's won the last 12 games against the Giants. So he's got some good history on this day against this team, and he's looking to bounce back. They need to win this game. They've looked not very good until the second half of last game where they came charging back and ended up losing by 3. That's the Cowboys we're trying to look at. That's the $240 million man that Dak Prescott was paid to be. And CeeDee Lamb has a bad attitude last game, and he addressed it, and he should be, locked and loaded and ready for a good game today. So, hint, hint, that's the combo we're going to go into, Dak and CeeDee Lamb. But let's break down the stats on Dak first. By the way, I'm going to be showing a bunch of different tools here, Outlier, DG Fantasy, OddsJam. If you're interested in any of them, if they catch your eye and you're like, damn, that looks pretty sweet, there's links in the description you can check out for free trials or discounts when you want to start those. It helps me out when you use my code. Also, if you're not on PrizePicks, you can use my code for PrizePicks as well. It's RichPicks, or there's a link down below. You're going to get $50 for betting just $5 when you sign up as a new user. So definitely check out all the links in the description. Great way to support the channel. Let's look at Dak Prescott here. I'm going to go to his passing plus rushing yards because that's what we are looking at. If I can find it here, this is just passing yards, passing plus rushing right here. So 266.5, I think it's at 269.5 over on PrizePicks. And you can see he's gone over this in 2 of 3 games. This is, again, when he was coming back, when they charged back in the second half against Baltimore and almost won that game. But, CeeDee Lamb kind of nowhere to be seen, and they did it without him. In the game against the New Orleans Saints, they got crushed, and he put up 305 yards in total. So 293 of that was passing. Did get, how many was that? 12 yards in the air or on the ground as well. And then this was the game that, they didn't really need to throw. I think he only had a certain amount of completions, 19 completions on 32 attempts, 182 yards. They were up in that game. They didn't really need to do much. Going back to last year, you can see he's able to do this. 67% of games, he's on the over. It doesn't matter if they're winning games or losing games. He's able to do it. When they do win games, the Cowboys throw the ball a lot, and that's usually the reason why. They're 5.5-point favorites in this one. In games that they won by 6+ last year, he still went over this in 60% of games. And then also last year, he played the Cowboys twice, which we can take a look at. One game he went way over, and it was a 49-17 game, absolutely crushed them. And then one game they won 40-0. 0, and I remember this game very well because I was playing the Dallas Cowboys defense in my fantasy league, and they hung like 47 fantasy points on me. So Dak doesn't have to do much if the defense is scoring all their points. So really liking the history here. Obviously, the hit rate's great. Now I want to show you guys some market value over on like DG Fantasy or something. You can look at Dak right here, 263.5. They're saying take the under. Why is that? Because some of the books at 256. Looks like a lot of books are around 256 actually. But if you look at the combo here, passing plus rushing, they're saying, hey, that's more of a 50-50 line. Most of these books are at 266, 267, 269. Looks like a pretty good consensus. A couple books at 270. So the better line in terms of passing or the passing plus the rushing yards is looking like this passing plus rushing yards one. So that's the reason I'm going to it. Think Dak's going to have a great game. I want to combo him up with CeeDee Lamb, and that's the one I'm landing on, and that's the reason why I'm kind of choosing the combo. So that's Dak. Think he's going to have a great game. Broke it down. He's crushed this team 12 games in a row. He's got great history. He's got a great hit rate. And again, with CeeDee Lamb kind of being like, dang, I let my team down. I think he's going to be looking to get open, looking to kind of run through him, and Dak should be able to find him today. So that's going to be the first guy. Let's look at some CeeDee Lamb lines. The one that I like happens to be a fun one, and it's going to be his touchdowns line. So let's get that going. All right, so I went ahead and pulled up CeeDee Lamb's lines here. The two that are my favorite for multiple reasons are his rushings and receiving his touchdown and his fantasy score. Obviously, they go hand in hand. If he gets in the end zone, that's going to be a huge boost to his fantasy score and vice versa. But also, you want to play the PrizePicks game here. If you go down here, you can start saying, oh, we're going to do a payout shift. Now, sometimes it says this and it's not doing it, but it does do payout shifts when things correlate. If I went to CeeDee Lamb's receiving yards with Dak's passing and rushing yards, it's going to knock me down. My payout shift is going to be bigger if I just use a line like this. If I do his fantasy score or maybe his rushing, his receiving, his touchdown, they might knock me, 0.5x, but they're not going to knock me as much as I would if I went to receiving yards. So just wanted to point that out to you guys. With all that said, I do prefer his fantasy score or his rushing, receiving, his touchdowns line, just because I do think he's going to have such a big game. I think he's going to get in the end zone, and we're about to see why. So going over to Odds Jam, I want to show you guys some market value. This is for him to get in the end zone, and a lot of books are saying, yeah, he's probably going to get in. Minus 129.1 on the over here. You see Pinnacle's at minus 121. Plus money on the under. DraftKings at minus 140 on the over, minus 115 on the under. So a lot of books are saying, hey, if we had to choose, we'd probably guess that CeeDee's going to get in the end zone. Now I want to go to CeeDee Lamb's outlier page, kind of see the hit rates of these last, the ones we're looking at here. In his fantasy score, 80% of the last 10 games he's gone over this. Obviously, he's only gone over in 1 of 3 games so far this year. And that goes very much hand in hand with his touchdowns line. 70% of the last 10 games, he's done that. So obviously, these are going to correlate pretty well, like I've said a million times here. But you can see in 2023 as a whole, he went over his fantasy score line a little bit more than he did his touchdowns line. So something to look into. But we're going to stick to his touchdowns line just to kind of keep breaking it down. 2024, you can see he's only gotten the end zone 1 time. And that was, he struggled in this game. They struggled in this game, and he wasn't a big part at all. He didn't actually get a single reception because he screwed us on a 20x on Betr because he didn't get a single reception during this drive of the game. And I was like, ripping my hair out. But I do think he gets in the end zone. Obviously, he's, the best target for Dak. He's going to get a ton of targets. And he had that huge stretch last year, at the end of last year, where he was getting a ton of touchdowns, ton of targets. And you can see the head-to-head here. Also, 2 touchdowns in that game where they needed him. 0 touchdowns in the earlier game in the season. But again, that was all the defense. He didn't have to do much. So yeah, really, really liking Lamb here. The same thing if you look at his fantasy score, it's going to be about the same hit rate. And then going over to RotoWire here, I want to point out that they're saying, yeah, his fantasy score line is too low. They're predicting 19.99, so practically a 20 fantasy score. And then for his rushing, receiving touchdowns, they're also liking the over. They're projecting 0.58 on a 0.5 line. So as I look at all this, I'm kind of like, maybe I should have gone to fantasy score. A long story short, again, I've said it a million times, they're very correlated. If he gets a touchdown, he's probably going to get his fantasy score. If he doesn't get a touchdown, he might not get his fantasy score. But if you want to just go to fantasy score, that's totally fine. Really, really liking this combo for the Cowboys. And then for the Giants side of things, I don't have a line on PrizePicks that I'm absolutely loving. I do have a few lines on Betr, which I'm going to show you in a second here. But I did want to just show you guys how I played Dak and CeeDee today. I'm just going to have to wait till Sunday. Hopefully they cash and, CJ, Nico Collins, going to correlate really well. They've got a great opportunity here against Jacksonville. Same thing with Brock Purdy and Jennings against New England. Jennings obviously had an insane game with no Deebo Samuel. He doesn't look like he's going to play again. And Jennings actually went over this in week 1 as well with all those guys. I don't know if Deebo's playing, but they were relatively healthy. At least Steven C was playing in that game. So just a correlated 6-man and kind of messing around. See, here's the passing plus rushing, and then we got the touchdowns line. We got the passing yards and the longest reception line. We got the passing yards and the receiving yards, and it's still a 23x. So even though that's pretty correlated, we're getting a really good payout on a correlated slip. So that's the 6-man. If you want to tail that, you can go ahead and do that. And again, if you want to do the 17.5 fantasy score line instead of the touchdowns line for CeeDee Lamb, that's totally fine. I understand that as well. But let's talk about the Betr slip, because I'm really liking that, and that's 4 more plays in tonight's game. All right, so I went ahead and pulled up the Betr slip. First of all, if you're not on Betr, you have to get on Betr. It's one of my favorite apps right now. They change lines so slowly that you can get access to such good value. So if you're not on Betr, do yourself a favor, go down to the link in the description. You can click that link or use code RichPicks when signing up. What that's going to do is going to give you a $200 deposit match, so that's awesome right off the bat. And it's also going to give you a free month of my Discord, so you can join our community, kind of see what we're all about for a free entire month. You'll be able to tail this slip and get access to, their discounts and everything. And the way I'm going to show how powerful, being on different platforms is, and, doing, value checks, where's the value on the day. How about Nico Collins right now that they have a lineup for? Nico Collins is at 5.5 receptions on, we just talked about CJ Stroud and Nico Collins being a very good combo. He has a 5.5 receptions line on Betr right now. PrizePicks is up at 6. Where are these other sports books? Pinnacle has him at 169 on the over 5.5, minus 135, minus 133, minus 160 on ESPN Bet. That's not a line that should be on a fixed payout system, and that's why Betr has insane value, and we've been attacking it, throughout the entire season on multiple different sports. So this is just one example. They're available all the time. They don't change their lines very quickly is what I'm trying to get at. So that's why you want to get on Betr. Again, code RichPicks, link in the description if you want to tail this slip. Now let's go over this slip real quick. Neighbors has a discount. So not only do they have awesome lines, they throw out discounts a lot. 5.5 receptions. He is going up against the Cowboys, but his target share has been ridiculous. 18 targets in week 2, 12 targets in week 3. And Daniel Jones actually kind of looks good throwing him the ball. He's the best receiver on the team. He's going to get as much action as he can get. I'll definitely take this discount here. Now, I don't know why I put $12 on it, because they limit me to $20 on these discounts, but $12 and then $8, it's the same slip. I'm not sure why I did that. I accidentally clicked the wrong button. But now let's move on to Singletary. Now, why do I want to take this longest rush line? First of all, let's look at what he's done. You can see it's at 15.5 in a lot of different places, and he's gone over this in 80% of the last 10 games, 67% of games so far this year. We talked about the Cowboys having a pretty strong passing defense. They don't have a very strong running defense. So hopefully Singletary, he's on my fantasy team first of all, hopefully Singletary has a good game. Hopefully they utilize that. They attack the weaker part of the Cowboys defense, and we see Singletary break through. I think he had a 40-yard rush even this year. Yeah, 43 yards against the Browns, 22, and then only 7 against Minnesota, but they didn't run the ball very often in that game. But really liking the Singletary line. Also want to point out the fact that we're getting it at 14.5 on Betr. It's 15.5 over on PrizePicks. And that stays pretty true for the rest of these as well. CeeDee Lamb longest catch, 25.5. I hinted at it earlier in this video. It's at 26.5 over on PrizePicks. I can show his outlier page really quick. I said 10 minutes on this video. That was a joke. Lamb right here. 26.5, still gone over the 26 mark. Again, we're at 25.5 on Betr. 80% of the last 5, 60% of the last 10. And even though he's been struggling a little bit this year, getting in the end zone, having huge games, he's actually gone over this longest reception line in all 3 of those games. So awesome to see there. And then last but not least, the nice little correlation here at the end, Prescott over 18.5 fantasy points. The last thing I'll show right here is he's at 19 over on PrizePicks. So we're getting awesome value. It's a 10x, correlated 10x, no payout shift or anything like that. It's an awesome app. You just saw the Nico Collins line. A minus 160, minus 170 play should not be available on a fixed payout app like Betr is. Betr is very similar to PrizePicks, it's similar to Underdog. So if you're on those two, if you're familiar with those two, you're going to like Betr. You're going to be able to attack value. We do that all day long in the Discord. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you for watching. I know I said I was going to keep it under 10 minutes. Apparently, I'm literally incapable of doing that just because I like to talk, I guess. But here's the 2 picks over on PrizePicks. Dak over his passing and rushing yards, CeeDee Lamb over his fantasy score, or if you want to go to his touchdown line, I like both of those. And then I want to plug these in and show that they're still available on PrizePicks, these other lines we talked about, but highly recommend taking them on Betr because they're all better over here, and you can take advantage of the neighbors discount. For anyone that's watching this and you got to this point in the video, do yourself a favor, go into the description of this video, sign up for as many different apps as you can. I'm going to break it down real quick. We have a discount on Sleeper right now. I think it's on CeeDee Lamb. It's like a 30% discount on his passing yards line, or his rushing, or whatever, receiving yards line. We have a free square on Chalkboard. We have a profit boost and a free square over on Underdog right now. And we just have a ton of different discounts going on. So you want to be attacking these different apps. It's not just PrizePicks. PrizePicks doesn't give a ton of discounts, honestly. And when they do, they limit people pretty quickly. But Betr, Chalkboard, Sleeper, Underdog, all these different places are sending out discounts. They want your business. They want you on that. And when you're a smart person and you have all these different apps, you don't have to play them all the time. You're just like, oh, Betr has a discount. Let's get a Betr slip in and take advantage of that discount. Oh, Underdog has a free square. Let's go take advantage of that free square on Underdog. So yeah, that's my pitch for kind of getting you guys to try to use my code. It's a great way to support the channel, but it is a win-win situation. You get into my Discord for free, all those different things. If you don't use my code though, a thumbs up is great. It goes a long way on this video. Just leave it a like. Comment something down below would be even better. It can be anything. Some people always comment a little emoji. I always shoot it right back at them, and I do appreciate those people. And subscribe if you are new. We're going to rip out content like this all throughout the year, all throughout the winter, and everything like that. Basketball is my bread and butter. It's my most knowledgeable sport, and honestly, just attacking value is a great way to, be a profitable sports bettor. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're gonna be talking, Friday games. We'll probably have some MLB. I'm trying to get back to a state that allows college basketball college sports betting in general. And right now I'm not in a state that allows that. But if I do go tomorrow to that state, which I'm kind of planning on doing, I'll do a video for college football. But if not, I'll do some sort of video and we'll get some sort of content out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Regardless, peace out. Thanks for watching.